Hi friends, a very good afternoon to all of you and welcome back once again on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm Gaurav Gupta and today I'll be helping you with some of the shortcuts or formulas in the QA section. Now in this series we'll be running up these sessions in which slowly and gradually we'll be discussing some of the shortcuts or formulas that are very important as far as the QA section is concerned. Now, these sessions are specially designed for those people who have recently started their preparation for CAT 2023. Now, for other students who have already probably finished the syllabus or are on the verge of completing it, we are already planning some sessions in which we are discussing some good higher level of difficulty questions on both the platforms on our YouTube channel as well as on our application. All right. So, friends, very good afternoon to all of you. Praveen, Archana, I hope I am clearly visible and audible to all of you. Okay. Now, friends, this session will be a very short and crisp session in which, first of all, in the first 2 or 3 minutes, I'll be discussing some of the facts related to the QA section as far as the pattern or the type of questions or the different topics is concerned. Then I'll be spending a minute on talking about the cutoffs for the previous year. I'll not say the cutoffs, but the score versus percentile mapping for the QA section. All right. Now, after that, I'll be giving you some tips. Again, I'm saying that this session is more important from the point of view of the students who have recently started their preparation. Okay, so we are covering up some of the shortcuts or formulas, whatever you can call it, formula bol do, shortcut bol do, whatever. Some of these things you might not see printed in every book, probably that you are using for your preparation. You might see some of these things to be used in questions directly, but whatever it is, these are gonna definitely help you with your preparation of CAT 2023. Also, anyone who is preparing for CAT 2024 or probably the next session, okay, they may also be benefited from these sessions because this is the foundation for all of you. All right. So, friends, let's begin with this session. Now, to start with, we'll be focusing only on QA section because this is the title of the session. Now, QA section is completely divided in these 5 areas, starting from arithmetic, algebra, geometry mensuration, number systems, and modern maths. Right? Now, out of these 5 areas, if I talk about only CAT examination, then arithmetic and algebra are the most important areas that you must study. Now, looking at the coverage of the number of questions from these two areas out of the total number of questions in the QA section. So, last year, out of 22 questions, we have seen as many as 17 questions from arithmetic and algebra together. So, 22 में से 17 questions सिर्फ इन दो areas में से आ रहे हैं. So, I can say that yes, these are the two most important areas, and for the students who have constrained about the time that is left for the preparation, you can focus 100% on these two areas, and yes, the QA section can be taken care of. If you can take out some more time, then you can spend that time on geometry and mensuration, from which we have seen 3 to 4 questions coming up in the last year, which is the third most important area. Right? Number system and modern maths, I would not deny the importance of these areas, especially the number systems, because number systems is the backbone of QA section. Right? The concepts of LCM and HCF, the concept of divisibility, the concept of factors. These concepts are not only used in the direct questions of number systems, but they are also indirectly used in plenty of questions of algebra or arithmetic. All right. So you must have an understanding of all the basic concepts of number systems, no matter how much time you are left. All right. So these are 5 areas according to their importance. If I talk about non-CAT examinations, then I cannot say which topic is more important, which topic is less important, because we have seen like more than 15 questions coming up from number systems only in examinations like Narsi Mungi. Okay, so from the point of view of other examinations like Narsi Mungi, which is NMAT, SNAP, MHCT, right? All these areas are important. All these areas, I would say that, are equally important, including modern maths as well. Okay. Now moving ahead and talking about the score versus percentile only for the QA section. So I'll consider only the last year, and you can look at the data of the previous years, which will be available on the YouTube in the recording of this session. So last year there were 22 questions, 22 multiplied 3, I can say 66 marks का पूरा paper था quant section का. Okay, so quant section the weightage was 66 marks, right? Now to be able to clear the sectional cutoffs of some very good colleges, or I would say that the top colleges, you need to get 90 percentile. So generally speaking, all the top B schools have a sectional cutoff of 90 percentile, as much as 90 percentile. Generally 90 percentile से ऊपर sectional cutoff नहीं होता. So 90 percentile, and to score 90 percentile in the QA section, you just need 6 questions to be attempted correctly. 6 questions. 6 into 3 is 18. 18 at a score of 18. Last year, a student has scored 90 plus percentile. Now, this particular thing may vary a little bit depending upon the level of difficulty. So, if the level of difficulty is on a lower side, easy question aa jate hain, then this 90 percentile requirement will go slightly above this. Okay, so probably not at 6 but at 7 questions at a score of 20 or 21, you may get 90 percentile. All right. If the section level of difficulty is on a higher side, then this value, this number will decrease. Okay. So this may slightly vary, but generally speaking, I'm just giving you the approximate value, approximate number of questions that you must be targeting in order to score 90 percentile. Obviously, nobody is going to target 90 percentile. You need to target as much as possible. So why not target 99.5 percentile? Okay, so at a score of 37, that means out of 22, effectively if you have 12 or 13 questions correct, out of 22, 12 or 13 questions correct, yes, you will be sitting among top half percent of the students in the QA section, right? So believe me, if you are doing proper studies, if you have a proper plan in your mind, if you are following a wonderful strategy, then it is actually not difficult to attempt and make sure that at least 10 questions are correct. Also at 10 questions, you will be certainly in the range of 98 to 99 percentile in the QA section. All right. So make sure that the direction in which you are moving, the strategy that you are planning, it is like a foolproof strategy, especially for this section. Okay. Now let's understand what all things we need to know in order to implement the shortcuts that I'm talking about. Now in the QA section, these are very important things that you must know. Okay. Now I may change these numbers a bit. Okay. So first of all, the squares and cubes of numbers. Now, if I'll ask you the square of 23, okay, if it is required in the question, and you are multiplying 23 and 23, fine. It will definitely waste 10 to 15 seconds of yours, probably more than that. But if you have the squares of first 25 or first 30 natural numbers on your tips, then this particular thing is gonna save a lot of time for each and every one of you, right? So if you know that 23 square is 529, right? Then in a matter of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, I have written this number, and obviously nobody is going to ask you directly the value of 23 square. It will be required in the questions. But if you know these squares of numbers up till 25 or up till 30, then it will save plenty of time. Also, not only the direct usage of the squares of these numbers will be required, there are plenty of cases in the questions where you will require the squares of first 25 natural numbers. Okay, I'll give you an example for this. Now, let's say the question is, what will be the last two digits of the square of 87? I have taken a very lower level example of the usage of remembering the squares of first 25 natural numbers. Okay, so मुझे क्या चाहिए? 87 square. I'm not bothered with the final answer. I just need the last two digits of this number. Yes, these type of questions will be asked in the QA section. Now, 87 square. What will be the last two digits? Now, the technique to calculate this is take the difference of 87 from 100. Okay. Now, difference of 87 from 100 is 13. The square of 13 is 169. The last two digits of the square of 13 will be same as the last two digits of the square of 87. So that will be 69. How? 87 square, difference of 87 from 100 is 13. Calculate the square of 13 and write the last two digits. Okay, so if I don't remember the square of 13, how will I be able to find out the last two digits of the square of 87 quickly? You will be able to calculate 13 into 13, but remembering all these things becomes very important. All right, am I clear? So this is just one very small example for all the students who are doing their preparation for CAT. Now we as a faculty, as a mentor, we keep on suggesting you, we keep on telling you to remember the squares of first 25 natural numbers and the cubes of first 15 natural numbers. Okay, but very handful, like just handful number of students remember all these things during the initial sessions. Okay, this is what I have observed in the last 15, 16 years of my teaching. Okay, but if you will remember all these things starting from the very beginning of your course, then it will definitely help you in understanding the applications of all these things. All right, fine. Now, the next big thing is percentage calculations, or I would say that percentage equivalence of fractions. I cannot teach all these things right now to all of you, but it is significantly important to remember the percentage equivalence of fractions up till 25, at least up till 25. Okay, so if somebody will ask you what is 7.69 percentage of 143, okay, 7.69 percentage looks ugly, definitely, and 143 is also not a beautiful number, right? But if you know that 7.69 percentage in terms of fractions can be written as 1 by 13. Yes. So this can be written as 1 by 13. So I'll replace 7.69 percentage by 1 by 13. Okay. So 1 by 13 into 143, my answer will be equal to 11. I have done it in less than 5 seconds. Now, if you don't know this, it will take you at least 1.5 minutes to do this calculation. Okay, so that is the beauty of remembering the percentage equivalence of fractions. Not only at this point, but if you have studied the chapter of percentages, then you would understand the relevance of learning these percentage equivalence of fractions. So this is the next thing for all of you, right? The third thing is knowing all the divisibility rules, at least the numbers that I have written here. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. At least these numbers to start with. But divisibility rules will also help you at a lot of places. Not only in checking the divisibility of any number with any other number, but to calculate the remainders as well. So there is a very important area in number systems in which you will be calculating the remainder obtained when a bigger number is divided by a smaller number. Okay, so these divisibility rules will be handy at that point. Also, in the questions of LCM, HCF, and plenty of places, the divisibility rules will be helpful. All right. So to start with, we must be knowing all these things which will help us in definitely saving plenty of time, which we don't even uh, basically, which we don't even realize that we are saving this much amount of time. All right. Now, moving forward, now let's look at some of the very important formulas in the QA section of arithmetic. Okay, so arithmetic ke kuch, like I'll give you 4 or 5 formulas today to start with, and we'll be continuing these sessions till the CAT examination or in the next few weeks. Okay, so to start with, some of the formulas which are related to time, speed, and distance. Now, obviously, I know that distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. We'll be looking at these formulas one by one. So there is no need to look at second and third formula. I'll be visiting them slowly. Okay. So let's first of all look at the first relation. Distance is equal to speed multiplied time. Okay. Now in the QA section, in the questions of time, speed, distance, you know that distance is equal to speed into time. This is the only formula that is there in time, speed, distance. But understand the relevance of this formula as well. I'll not call it formula, but I'll call it a relation. Now, using this relation, you can derive 3 different relations. Okay. Relation number 1, if time is constant, then distance is directly proportional to speed. I mean to say that if 2 objects will travel for equal amount of time, then the ratio of their speeds will be equal to the ratio of the distances traveled by these 2 bodies. Now, this is a logic, a concept that can be used as a shortcut at a lot of places. So whatever I'm telling you, these can be used as the shortcut techniques at a lot of places. Okay, so time constant here, ratio of speeds is equal to ratio of distances. Number 2, if speed is constant, then distance is directly proportional to time. That means ratio of time taken will be equal to the ratio of distances if 2 objects are traveling at same speed. The third one is most important out of these 3. If distance traveled is constant, then speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. So if I and you have traveled for equal distances, then the ratio of the speeds will be equal to inverse the ratio of our time taken. Okay, so this is like third relation is used at a lot of places. Okay, now next thing is the logic of average speeds, or how to basically use calculate the average speed with some given things. Okay, now, average speed, we all know that it is equal to total distance upon total time, but not every time we will use this formula. Obviously, we can use this formula every time, but we will not use this formula every time because we have certain shortcuts with us. Okay. Now, the first one is if a person travels a distance d, if a person travels a distance d, just give me 1 second. Okay. Now, if a person travels a distance d at a speed of p and the same distance at the speed of q. Okay, so basically the journey is divided in 2 parts, right? So distance d at the speed of p and the same distance d at a speed of q. You will see this type of thing when a person travels in through to and fro motion. So पहले point A से point B पे गया and then B से वापस आ गया, या फिर point A से point B पे गया and then B से C पे गया and the distances are equal. So if an object travels 2 journeys of equal distances at different speeds, then we can directly say that the average speed will be 2 into PQ divided by P plus Q. I'll write it like this: 2PQ divided by P plus Q. Okay, if the distance traveled is same, right? Okay. Second one is if a body covers a part of journey at speed p and another part of journey at speed q, and the distances are in the ratio m is to n, then average speed for the entire journey will be m plus n into PQ divided by MQ plus NP. You can note down all these things. Okay. Now the next point, I call it fourth. The average speed if the time is constant. That means a body is traveling for two different journeys, but it has traveled for equal amount of time. In journey A, the time taken is equal to the time taken for the journey 2. So in that case, the average speed will be the simple average of the speeds of these two journeys. So these are three ways in which you can find out average speeds if some specific relation is given to you in the question. All right, fine. So you can note down all these things. Right now, if you don't want to, you can do it later on as well. Fine. But these three things, number two, number three, and number four, will directly help you in saving plenty of time. Okay, there is no need to calculate total distance, and there is no need to calculate the total time. You can directly use these things when you have some specific relations which are given, some specific conditions which are given in the question. Okay, let's move ahead and look at the next thing, removal and replacement in the chapter of mixtures and alligations. Okay, now you all must have seen this formula. Final I'll explain you this formula. So let me write it. F is final, I is initial, bracket 1 minus removed upon total raised to the power n, the number of times the step is repeated. Now, first of all, let us understand the requirement of this formula. So you'll be given some questions wherein there is a container in which a certain solution is filled, a certain milk solution is filled. It can be a pure milk or it can be a milk solution having water. Okay. Now from this container, let's say this container is of 100 liters. So 100 liters of 80% milk solution is given in this container. Now from this container, I have removed 10 liters of solution and replaced it with 10 liters of pure water. Then after mixing it properly, again I removed 10 liters of solution and replaced it with 10 liters of pure water. And this step is repeated any number of times. So we'll have to find out the final quantity or the final concentration of milk after all these steps are completed. So this is the direct formula that we can use to find out the same thing. Okay. So F is the final concentration or quantity of milk. Okay. I is the initial, again, quantity or concentration of milk. So if you are asked to find out concentration, then these two values will be in terms of percentages or the fraction of milk. If you are asked to find out the quantity, then these two values will be in terms of liters or whatever quantity unit is there. Okay. In the bracket 1 minus R. R means जितना solution हम remove कर रहे हैं. So we have removed 10 liters and replacing it by 10 liters. If we are removing 20 liters and replacing it by 20 liters, then the value of R will be accordingly. So R is quantity removed. Okay. And T is the total volume of solution. And finally, N is the number of times the step is repeated. So if we have done it 3 times, the value of N will be equal to 3. Right? Now this formula here, you have kept the final and initial concentration of milk. So this formula is applicable on milk if the replacement is done by water. Okay? If the replacement done by water. अगर water से replacement किया है, अगर milk से replacement किया है, तो ये formula में जहाँ पे भी मैंने milk लिखा है, वहाँ पे water होता है. So if we are doing replacement by water, then formula will be applicable on milk and vice versa. Okay. So this is the formula for the removal and replacement, and once again can be used directly. Okay. Moving ahead, next is upstreams and downstreams. A very simple topic. Okay, but you must remember some of the things that you can use directly. So all of you would know in the cases of upstreams and downstreams, we have two variables, x and y, where x is the speed of boat and y is the speed of stream. Okay, fine. So net speed upstream can be written as x minus y and net speed downstream can be written as x plus y. Okay, now what if you are given speed upstream and downstream? Wait, I'm saying what if you are given these two things and you will have to calculate the values of x and y. Okay, so you can write the values of x and y directly. So the value of x can be calculated as speed downstream plus speed upstream divided by 2. Okay, and the value of y can be calculated as speed downstream minus speed upstream divided by 2. Okay, so you can note down these two formulas. Obviously you would already remember these formulas, इसमें तो कोई problem नहीं है, but you can also directly calculate the values of x and y if speed upstream and speed downstream are given to you. Yeah? Okay, Yash, a very thank you to you. I just saw this message. Happy Teachers Day. Thank you very much for your wishes. Now finally, a formula on clocks. Okay. Now generally I have seen students wasting a lot of time in calculating some of the or in solving some of the questions which are based on clocks using the method of relative speeds. Now I have a direct formula for all of you. A direct formula. Okay. So first of all, I'll write the direct formula and then we'll show you the usage of that formula. Okay. So it's not a single formula. It's a similar formula but divided in two parts. So the formula is theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. Also theta is equal to 30h minus 11 by 2m. Okay. Now let us understand what is this theta, m and h. So theta is the angle between hour hand and minute hand. Okay. So there are two hands that will be considering, hour hand and minute hand. So theta is the angle between them. M is the number of minutes and H is the number of hours. Alright, fine. Now let's have a look at the usage of this formula. Now first of all, I have given you two formulas, formula number 1, formula number 2. Which formula will be used when? Okay, so when to use which of these two formulas, let us understand. So first type of question is, we have to find out the angle when the time is given. So let's say the time given is 5:43. Okay, so the time is 5:43 and we'll have to find out the angle at this time. Angle between the hour hand and minute. Okay. Now, one of the above formulas will be used accurately to calculate the angle between hour hand and minute hand at the given time. Now, how to select which formula will be used? So, the time given is 5:43. I can roughly plot this time. Okay. So, if I roughly plot this time, the time is 5:43. Hour hand will be somewhere between 5 and 6. And minute hand will be at this place. Okay. Roughly plot kiya hai maine. Okay. So, hour hand and minute hand I have plotted for this particular time. Right. Now, to decide which formula to be used, start from 12 and we'll start moving in clockwise direction. Starting from 12, move in clockwise direction. If I move in clockwise direction, which hand will come first? So for this particular case, hour hand पहले आ रहा है और minute hand बाद में आ रहा है. 12 से start करो, clockwise direction में move करना शुरू करो. Hour hand इस case में पहले आ रहा है, तो formula में h बाद में होना चाहिए. So if hour hand comes first in the figure, then h should come later in the figure, and I'll be using the formula theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. Now substitute the value of m and h, you will get the value of theta. So 11 by 2 multiplied 5 minus, oh sorry, 11 by 2 multiplied by 43, m is 43, minus 30 into 5. Do the calculation and it will be the angle between hour hand and minute hand at the given time. Okay, so this is how we will be using this formula. Okay, now this was one type of question. Let's look at the second type of question, wherein the angle will be given and you will have to find out the time. Okay, right? So I'll take two different type of questions. So question is, what time between 4 and 5 o'clock, what time between 4 and 5 o'clock, the minute hand and hour hand will be opposite to each other. At what time between 4 and 5 o'clock, minute hand and hour hand will be opposite to each other. अब opposite होने का मतलब क्या है? Opposite होने का मतलब क्या है? The angle between them is 180 degrees. Okay. So now I know the range of time. The time should be between 4 and 5 o'clock. Okay. So between 4 and 5 o'clock, obviously the hour hand will be between 4 and 5 o'clock. And the angle required is 180 degrees. So minute hand will definitely be opposite to it. Okay, 180 का angle चाहिए. Hour hand will be between 4 and 5. So minute hand will be completely opposite to that. So I have roughly drawn the figure. Once again, hour hand is coming first and minute hand is coming later. So I'll use the formula number 1. So it says theta, which is 180, is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30 multiplied by the value of h. Now, the time which is between 4 and 5 o'clock will be 4 hours and some minutes. So I know that the value of h will be 4. Substitute it and get the value of m by solving this equation. Okay, fine. Now, other than 180 or 0 degrees, if any other angle is asked, so let's say 60 degree का angle पूछा होता, तो 60 degree का angle दो बार बन सकता है, right? So 60 degree, first of all, it will be before our hand or after our hand. So there will be two different instances when there will be an angle of 60 degrees can be made. Two instances. So use both the formulas and you will get two different answers. That will give you the two different time at which the angle between the hands will be 60 degrees. Alright. So you may use both the formulas at that moment and get two different answers for this question. Okay. So this is how you can use the formulas directly in the chapter of clocks to save plenty of time. Clocks is an important topic from the point of view of NMAT, symbiosis, MHCT, TestNet, MyCat. So इस type के examinations में this type of questions will be asked. All right. So fine friends, that is all from my side for the day. I hope you would have liked at least a few things that I have taught you in this session. And you will keep on continuing watching these sessions on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. You can unlock your free trial for 3 days by logging to our application, entering your phone number and clicking start free trial. And you can access the account of BYJU'S Exam Prep for 3 days free of cost. You can also enroll for our test series for CAT 2023 and non-CAT examinations. These are some things that you will get in this test series. Okay. So if you are not a student of BYJU'S, then it's time to enroll for our test series. This is the list of our CAT 2022 toppers. Also guys, new batches are available for CAT 2023 comprehensive program. So if you have not yet started your preparation, then this is the right time to start your preparation with BYJU'S Exam. Complete details about this program are given on your screen. Just give me a second. So I'll move from here on the other side. Okay. So this is like all about the programs, program structure. Also, this is about our test series. Okay. So you can note down all these things and be a part of it. Also, do not forget to enroll for our All India Open Mock CAT 2023, which is free of cost for all of you. Just need to go to our application and register for this examination. Okay, so this All India Open Mock will be live on 8th of September up till 17th of September. Make sure that you are taking this test, you are taking this mock examination in this window only. Okay, you can get up to 90% scholarship on all our CAT preparation program. The next scholarship test is being conducted on 10th of September at 11 a.m. Also, on 17th of September at 11 a.m., Srinivas sir is conducting a wonderful live interactive workshop for all the aspirants of CAT 2024, in which he'll be telling how to manage the preparation with job or studies. Okay, so basically, he'll be teaching you, he'll be helping you with the task of multitasking. Okay, so you'll be able to understand how you can manage both these things at a single point of time. Okay, so friends, that's all from my side. You can get social with us on all these social media platforms. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.